Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. On Tuesday nights, a group of us are studying the Narada Bhakti Sutra. Within this, we are trying not to theorize dedication, but rather to apply this. And so part of the dynamics is to practice specific expressions of bhakti or dedication. In September, we practiced listening. In October, writing. Now in November, remembering. As we transitioned from writing to remembering, I had asked all of the seekers to write, what does God mean to you? And another way to think about this, what has God done to you? Please reflect. What does God mean to you? What has God done to you? And right now you may be feeling, I know. What if you have to write this? I feel by doing so, you will know more. Through such specific practices, applications, and so on, we train ourselves to never forget God. This is one of our greatest challenges, is we remember God, and then we go to school, and then we go to volunteering, and we forget, which shows that we only remember in a controlled environment. Meaningful mornings, if you're asking, not that you're asking, but if you're asking, how does one know if they're flowing through meaningful mornings? Is that they never forget God. Generally, a mother, our biological mother, our universal mother, has a comprehensive personality and presence in our lives. So that I'm not making this too abstract, my mother, past and present, she cares, she's concerned, she cooks, she cleans, she works professionally, and so on. And this is why the Bhagavad Gita is also known as Mata, has a comprehensive structure and care for us. Similarly, our biological mother, our universal mother, is ever available for us. When my mother calls me sometimes I don't pick up because I'm teaching, I'm in a meeting, I'm in a bad mood. But I feel every time I call her, she picks up. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita is ever available for us. Are you available for the Bhagavad Gita? The chapter that we're zooming into is on conviction. And the last classification that Sri Krishna shared was on contribution. When I went to school in the Czech Republic, I went from Canada, which has really never been under foreign rule, to the Czech Republic, which was under foreign rule for a long time, specifically communism. And when I would study there and move around the Czech Republic, I observed, very different than Canada, that the colors tended to be more gray. You've seen meaningful mornings when the sun is out, but right now, meaningful mornings is sort of gray externally. And when people would walk, they tended to look down as they walked. And this was unique for me because in Canada, there was lots of colors and people looked at you in the eye. And reflecting on this more, it's because perhaps the country formed a vasana that is a print related to communism, control, being subdued. And I have observed the same with a certain generation in terms of age and culture, this colonial vasana of not giving, and if giving, giving with my name. And this has become a heavy print on us. I did a little bit of research that in 150 years, the British took from India or Bharat. Yesterday, I foolishly shared the figure of $1 trillion. It's actually $45 trillion. I think that's all of the American debt, isn't it? The American debt's like 35 trillion. Can you just visualize how politics would change in America if there was no debt? So this colonial vasana is there, and one has to start to share to get into caring, to get into loving. That's the high bar that Sri Krishna has set for us. And so I'm encouraging teachers, I'm encouraging leaders of organizations that are involved with self-development, Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma. If you need to have a donor's name to be able to build your kitchen, to be able to build your driveway, I'm encouraging you not to do it. Instead of building more infrastructure and doing this in a rajasic or aggressive way, don't build the infrastructure. Instead, focus on building the culture. That is nurturing sattva or quietness. Those who are vigilant, they don't compromise when it comes to their training in sharing, caring, loving. If one compromises, whether you're a teacher, a leader, an organization, at most you will share, but that compromise will inhibit the energy needed to evolve to caring and loving. Really, I won't say anything else about dana, okay? But I hope you understand the vision. This is our entry point. If you can't share, you can't evolve to the fuller comprehensive teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. In verse 23, Sri Krishna begins the final classification of this chapter on conviction. He shares, Om Tat Sat is to be chanted, is to come out of one's mouth. Ahara, that was the first classification in terms of input. Om Tat Sat is about output. And one should do this mechanically initially. Most of us don't say Om Tat Sat when we wash our hands, when we drive, and so on. It will start initially as mechanically. However, this will, because Sri Krishna shared it, will evolve to becoming meaningful. And as one rises from Om to Tat to Sat, Sat is not living, it is life. Sat is not is a quality, a form, a name. Sat is. Now for many, What is Vivekji talking about? That's the point. More subtlety and causality of mind is needed to reach Sat. So we have Tat. So we have Om. That's shared in verse 24. Chant. What should come out of your mouth, what should be outputted is Om. Om is not spelt as O-M, but rather A-U-M. And you chant Om, and you can do this now. Om. Its creation is in your abdomen area. This symbolizes waking up, the waking state. Ooh is in this area. This symbolizes after the waking state, what's next? The dream state. Like many of you at 5:30 a.m. in the 5:30 a.m. in the highest vocation, at 5:30 waking state, at 5:35 dream state, at 5:40 sleep state. Correct? And that's the See, when I chant Om, see how there's dormancy that's coming, less expression. The is the most powerful part in your abdomen. So AUM symbolizes our waking, our dreaming, our sleeping. But here's the important part. Om is a sound. The foundation of sound is silence. Om is training to go past waking, dreaming, and sleeping to awaring, to awareness. We had studied this a long time ago in terms of ajapa, japa. Japa means meaningful phrase. It's creating sound, but that should train one in ajapa, which is the silence between this sound. One of my favorite musicians is MC Yogi. And I was watching a video of his yesterday where he was playing with a band called the Sacred Sound Society. That's an awesome name. And how cool is that? I happen to be watching this video. We're studying Om. Even my reference about mother, when I was preparing my notes yesterday morning, I had thought about mother. Now, for those with the Dialogue with Dharma course tonight, one of the questions that will be asked is, what is heavier than the earth? And the answer? Mother, obviously. I'm trying to make that connection right now. Verse 25. Tadityanavisandhaya phalam yajnatapakriyaha dana kriyascha vividhaha kriyante moksha kangshibihi. Joy. There is another iti. Om. Now Shri Krishna is sharing. Next is tat. One should chant, what should come out of one's mouth, what one should output is tat. How should one do this? Abhisandhaya. One should do this without. Without what? Phalam. Without any intention, expectation of a result. Kriyaha, while one is engaging in yajna, that's dedication, and tapa, which is renunciation. So Shri Krishna is sharing here in this first line, you should be living by dedication and renunciation, but not for something. You should be doing this for sat. That is awareness. But how do you get to that? First through Om, then through Tat. I want to bring you back to the beginning of chapter 17 so that you're clear about why this classification is coming now. Prince Arjuna begins this chapter in verse 1 with the proposition: what if you live without following the map? You live without direction. And Shri Krishna describes such people as having less faith and little faith. Now he's coming back to answering this question directly, sharing, have a map and follow the direction of the map. I'm going to read to you what Pujya Swami Chinmayananda shared, and then we'll continue to explore this verse tomorrow. The Shastra prescribes a technique to liberate our total personality from our own physical appetites, emotional weaknesses, and intellectual entanglements. A human personality so released from its own cocoon of limitations expands to its fuller and ampler stature, which is the glory divine. Such a liberation widens our horizon and takes us beyond the earthly tumults of sorrows which so readily come to us to obsess us with their fatigued restlessness. A lot of big words. What Sri Krishna and Pujya Swami Chinmayananda are sharing is, have a map. Follow that direction. That's why at the end of each chapter, Om Tat Sat. This is the map. We are going to follow the direction. That's what it means to have lots of faith. From inspiration to application. Your application on Monday was for you to reflect on which classification has been most revealing to you. On Tuesday, it was to write Om Tat Sat and keep this with you. On Wednesday was for you to meet with Sri Krishna and add more verses to chapter 17 of Bhagavad Gita, which classification is needed. So my reflection on this is we need a classification on purpose and or people. Your application for this morning, the prompt I had shared about, what does God mean to you? What has God done to you? Now I want you to write out your reflection. Please write surrounding this prompt, especially as we complete this chapter. Tomorrow I'm going to share with you how Meaningful Mornings is going to change direction starting on Monday, November 13th, to really becoming Manana Mornings. Nobody knows about this, including our crew. I think this will be very special. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be joy.